Welcome to Advanced Vedic Mathematics course. Phase 2, Gita Purushottam Yoga, Sthapatya. Lesson 60. We are chasing Gita chapter 15 text. We are focusing upon Sthapatya of this text. The text is in letters. We translate it first. We translate it first in numbers, and then we have further translation into Sthapatya, and our chase is in the form of dimensional content, full unit bodies and half unit bodies of these transcendental values. The interest is that we shall comprehend as to how at the origin is 7 space. This D7 7 space content flows as 7 streams. This 7 streams flow gives rise to a transcendental content as 7 space, as 5 space as dimension. For 7 space domain, 5 space is a dimension, and this is of a solid order, which itself is of a linear order. Further, we know that 5 space is enveloped within a creative boundary, and the flow from the 7-6 space of 7 streams as 5 space content of a solid order with linear dimension or dimension order, and the same enters the creator's space through his eastern cosmic window of 21 units, following the format of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 Sthapatya miring rod, and along this format the transcendental content is flowing, means it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 dimensions for sequential progression, and transcendental content is flowing along it, and it is this flow of transcendental content is equal to of 105 units. It is this flow of this format is entering the creator's space. Further, we know that creator's space itself is also playing the role of a creative dimension. 4 space as dimension of a 6 space. Also we know that 4 space is the boundary of a 5 space, and 4 space as well is a domain, and this domain is of a spatial order. These all features are inherently there while the transcendental content enters the creator's space. It is here that we are having 5 space as a origin. In fact, the creator's domain, 4 space domain, is having a transcendental seal. That means the origin is sealed, and this seal is of a transcendental content. It is this phenomenon that when within the creator's space there is flow of a transcendental content, then there happens a explosion at this. By explosion we will mean that there happens a melting of the seal. It is this melting of the seal, transcendental seal, which is the phenomenon which is subject matter of a chase here in Purushottam Yoga to know as to how this explosion into a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere as an outer crust cachuli of a nog, a serpent, is having again a synthesis. How this synthesis happens is because of 6 space playing the role of an origin of a 5 space. 5 space causing explosion and 6 space causing resynthesis. Number 5 is 2 plus 3, while number 6 is 2 into 3. So see that this transition which happens within 6 space with 4 space as dimension and 2 space as a dimension of dimension, and 2 space itself is a spatial order. Within it there happens a reversal of an orientation. All these features are inherently available to us. It be taken that we are through these features and we are proceeding ahead. See, we are having 20 shlokas scripture, and it is the 15th chapter, and it is leading us to 49 as a Pushpika. There is a single vacha, and it is of a Shri Bhagwan. This text, that is the chapter 15th, is a single vacha, and Shri Bhagwan formulation is of TC value 37, which is of split 18 plus 19. 18 is H5, 19 is small h5. Therefore, it is 6 space as origin of 5 space in 4 space. It is this feature which also is inherently available. So in this process, when we are beginning with chapter 15 and number value 15, it is equal to H4. Further, 15 is equal to the value of dimensional frame of a 5 space. Still further, 15 is the TC value of a Tej, glow, which is coming from Rashmi, Surya Rashmi, the ray of the sun. 30 is the value. So this value 30 giving rise to 15 is the phenomenon, as here it is H8 and here it is H4. So H8 as split of pair of at 4 dimensions is the feature which also is to be taken into account as playing a role. Then we know this chapter is of 20 shlokas and number value 20 is D7 and D7 is a 7-space content at the origin of a 6-space. So it is here that there is an origin, it is 7-space and 7-space is splitting a spectrum as equal to the value 20. Further as that 6-space itself has a reach up till 9-space and so this Bindu Sarovar has 9-space with its 7 streams manifesting towards east 3 and towards west as well 3 and ultimately there is having a linear dimensions and it is going to be 1 into 1 is equal to 1 square and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That is addition at the base and addition at the vertex. And then this flow towards the east to west as 9, 7, 3 and 1 is making 20 and it is a Divya Ganga Pravaha. It is this Divya Ganga Pravaha which is at work here when we have to reach up till 20 shlokas. We have to reach up till 20 shlokas and then we see that in this phenomenon of a reach from 15 to 20 and here we are having a Divya Ganga Pravaha and here we are having G7 having 15 versions and then we see here is a jump over a 5. If we have this bridging it will make us 25 and 25 is the TC value of number 1 Prithvi. Secondly, it is of the Vishnu as well. It is this feature which will further help us appreciate as that this organization, this sthapatya of the organization format as it is. Now we are at chapter 15. There are 20 shlokas. There is one watch. It is of Shri Bhagwan and the Pushpika is of 49 aksharas. It is equal to Purushottam and also it is one more than 48 and 48 is equal to 2 into 4 into 6. It is equal to the dimensional frame of 6 space with 4 space as a dimension and 2 space as dimension of a dimension. Still further, it is an organization that 6 cross 8 grid is accommodating all the 48 double-digit numbers and the first triple-digit number of 7th place which is 100. So it is 49 as the triple-digit of 7th place value system and 49 as the 10th place value system of this value. Pushpika itself is of TC value 24. 24 is equal to the dimensional frame 6 into 4 where 4 space is taken as a dimension and we are not proceeding ahead for its dimension of dimension. It is a Purusha. So a Purusha format when is in a dynamic state it becomes 37 and it is a Shri Bhagwan. These features of a Pushpika together with Shri Bhagwan is 37 as organization of 18 and 19 as h5 and small h5 as 6 space origin of a 5 space, leading us to a setup within creator's space as that at its origin seat there is a split which has a resynthesis because of 6 space as an origin. This split and synthesis as a phenomenon. Now, Vacha is a formulation which takes us to value 396. It is 3 cross 3, and it is 3. This value is of the format of reaching from both ends to the middle, and it is, we know, in the format of Nikhlim Navasta Charmam Dashata, Sutra 2. It is this feature which is at work. That means it is the dimensional frame of 5 space which becomes and plays the role of an Uvacha. And at the origin is a 6 space which is of the format of this of value 37. So this is the feature of single Vacha. Of 20, we know that there is an origin and of 6 space, and it is a 7 space which is 7D. It has a split as 20, and also this split is parallel with Divya Ganga Pravaha along the soul syllable Om. These are the features which further take us to as that 9, 7, 3 and 1 with at a middle a 5, making a value of 25, and this is, it means crossing, transcending grid 4 cross 6 of 5 place value system with 24 double digit numbers of 6 place value system, 5 place value stand accommodated, and 25 of 10 place value system is the first triple digit number of a 5 place value. And 15 as such, we have seen it is going to be G, 7 and 15. There are 15 versions of 7 space. All these features are simultaneously available, and these features as such help us appreciate the and Sthapatya, geometric format, manifestation of flow and manifestation of a transcendental content along the Sthapatya miring rod. With it that way, we can also begin for glimpsing this Sthapatya by starting with a Sthapatya miring rod. The Sthapatya miring rod, as it is of synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6, and this format, geometric format, with the parallel values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 makes value 21, which is going to be the TC value of Pur, and it is the placement of the sun. We starting like this and then having a flow of the transcendental content from the 7 streams flow from orb of the sun, and this content is to have a flow along a Sthapatya miring rod. Once we are parallel with this format available, and then we can have a glimpse of how the text is being composed. The text of chapter 5 is 20 shlokas text. Shloka 1 to Shloka 20. This organization as shlokas 1 to 5, then 6 to 11, then 12 to 15, and finally 16 to 20. It will help us have a chase of 4 phases of the format, Sthapatya format of Purushottam Yoga. Now, when we have to chase it, we can also chase it as 1 to 6, then 7 to 11, and 12 to 15, and 16 to 20, for the simple reason that here will be a chase of 5 gaps of 1 to 6 discrete points, and here we will having the complete 6 units as a continuous phenomenon. Anyway, when we begin here for this, when we take the text in our hand, say of Shloka 1, we will see it is a composition of words. Words have syllables, syllables have letters, and letters have transcendental value or the placement value. When we keep in our mind the phenomenon of this text, the composition of this text, that is of Shloka 1, then we'll see that there are 9 words, there are 32 syllables, and 78 letters, and 309 is going to be the transcendental code values. Once we are at 309 values, then we can reach at these values. We can see that these values have their own sthapatya. Firstly, with 309, it is 3 multiplied by 103, and 103 is 31 plus 72. 31 is a cube, a linear order 3 space, and 72 is the origin. So along sthapatya and together it makes it hypercube. One may have a pause here and take note that Devanagari alphabet is the mother alphabet. It is the parental format for all alphabets of the world. Now, when it is said like that, it becomes a very big statement. And for some, naturally, those who are not fully exposed, it will be very difficult to consume this statement that Devanagari alphabet will take us to the English alphabet as well. Here in Devanagari alphabet, we are proceeding first 1 to 9 novels, then we are having grade 5 class 5, thereafter we are having jump 1, 3, 5, 7 of external, then we are having 3, 6 and 9, and finally also we are having 9 to 16. However, in English alphabet, we are proceeding straight from 1 to 26. Number 26 is as such, it is the H7. It is 5, 6, 7 and 8. So it is hypercube 7. And also we see that word Devata is also of TC value 26. So the potentialities and limitations of this alphabet are apparently before us. However, as far as the Devanagari alphabet is concerned, we have to go for transcendental code values. But as in respect of the English alphabet, for this sthapatya, it amounts to a number value. Now, number value means A is having 1 and Z is having 26. In this context, when we will see the word hypercube, it will lead us to value 103. And when we are at cube, it will lead us to value 31. And the origin gives rise to 72. So it in a way is a cube with a center. It is this phenomenon which is making an hypercube. We know that cube becomes an hypercube as we are locating its origin, and this origin is a 4 space. The origin of 3 space is a 4 space, and its 4 folds: dimension, boundary, domain, and then origin. When all these 4 folds are available, then this becomes an hypercube. Let me not stress more here with respect to the relationship of one alphabet with another alphabet, and let me remain confined to the way the text is to be approached for Sthapatya. Shloka 1, 9 words, 32 syllables, 78 letters, and 309 as the TC value. With respect to 309, we have seen that it gives a split as 18, 81, and 210. For 210, we have seen it is 21 into 10. And here we have visited and seen that the inflow from Purv, the east, the Surya Rashmi, is of 21 units. It is parallel with the Sthapatya miring rod of 1 to 6 steps itself. And when it enters the creator's space, the same manifests as the creative boundary of 10 components. It is this way that there happens that there is a creative space, and the transcendental origin is having a creative boundary, and as a result there happens a transcendental cavity. And in this transcendental cavity, the spatial order 2 space, this 2 space has dimension, has 3 space as an origin. So superimposition of a solid order upon the creative spatial order space gives us value 81. With this superimposition, the 5 space has its manifestation as a solid order within a